stop scrolling, take a breath, because what we're talking about right now isn't some headline that only affects other people. This is about you. It's about your parents, your grandparents, your spouse, your future, and most importantly, it's about your wallet. Over the past few days, Social Security has quietly sent something out to millions of Americans, and a lot of people either missed it, ignored it, or don't even realize what it means yet. But here's the truth. This message could directly affect how much money comes into your household, how secure your retirement feels, and how prepared your family is for what's coming next. Think about it. For decades, Social Security has been the backbone of financial survival for working Americans. It's not a bonus. It's not a luxury. It's money people earned through a lifetime of work. And when Social Security sends something out, whether it's a notice, a letter, a message, or an update, it's never random. There is always a reason. There is always a consequence. And there is always someone who benefits and someone who gets blindsided for not paying attention. Right now, families across the country are opening their mailboxes, checking their online accounts, or hearing from friends and relatives who received something that made them stop and say, wait, what does this mean? Some people felt relief, some felt confusion, and some felt fear. Because in today's economy, even a small change from Social Security can feel massive when groceries are expensive, rent is high, medical bills don't stop, and every dollar matters. This video exists for one reason, to make sure you understand what's happening, why it matters, and what you should do next. No complicated language, no government jargon, just clear, honest information explained in a way that actually makes sense. Stay with me, because what you learn in the next few minutes could protect your money, your benefits, and your peace of mind. What exactly was sent out, and why now? So let's get straight to the heart of it. Social Security didn't send out just one single thing. They sent out multiple types of communications, depending on who you are, how you receive benefits, and where you are in your financial journey. Some people received a physical letter in the mail, others got a digital notice through their online Social Security account, and some people received messages that looked small, but carried big meaning. Why now? Because Social Security operates on cycles, annual reviews, benefit recalculations, eligibility checks, payment confirmations, cost of living adjustments, identity verifications, and policy updates. This time of year is especially critical because it's when the agency confirms records that directly impact future payments. That means what you see now could affect not just this month, but the rest of the year, or even years ahead. For many recipients, the notice was about account verification. Social Security wants to make sure the person receiving benefits is still eligible, still alive, and still receiving payments correctly. That might sound routine, but failing to respond to certain requests can lead to delayed or paused payments. And in a household that depends on Social Security, even a short delay can cause real stress. Others receive notices about benefit explanations, breaking down how much money they're receiving, why that amount is what it is, and whether any changes are coming. These letters often go unread because they look official and intimidating, but inside them are clues about future increases, deductions, or reviews. And then there are people who received something that raised eyebrows, language that hinted at changes, reviews, or upcoming decisions. Not cuts necessarily, not increases guaranteed, but movement. And whenever Social Security moves, Americans need to pay attention. The timing matters. Inflation is still squeezing families, medical costs are rising, and millions of retirees are watching every deposit like a hawk. That's why this message matters, and why ignoring it could cost more than you think. Who was most likely to receive this message? Now here's where it gets personal, because not everyone received the same thing, and not everyone was meant to. The people most likely to receive a Social Security communication right now fall into several key groups, and there's a strong chance you or someone you love is in one of them. First, retirees currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits. If you're living on a fixed income, Social Security keeps a close eye on your records to ensure payments are accurate. Any update related to income reporting, direct deposit changes, or benefit verification usually goes directly to this group. Second, people receiving SSDI or SSI. These programs come with additional eligibility requirements, income limits, living arrangements, medical status. That means recipients are more likely to receive review notices or reminders to confirm information. Missing one of these can trigger serious consequences. Third, people who recently applied for benefits or made changes to their accounts. Did you update your address, change banks, switch direct deposit, apply for spousal or survivor benefits? Those actions almost always generate follow-up communication. Fourth, future beneficiaries. That's right, even if you're not collecting yet, Social Security may contact you to confirm earnings records or provide projections. These messages are easy to dismiss because they don't feel urgent, but they shape your future monthly income. And finally, people flagged for routine reviews. This doesn't mean something is wrong, but it does mean Social Security wants confirmation. And silence is often interpreted as a problem. If you didn't receive anything yet, don't relax just yet. Communications often roll out in waves, and sometimes the most important messages come last. Why this matters more than ever in today's economy. Let's be real for a moment. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Americans are under financial pressure like never before. Prices are up, savings are down, and for millions of households, Social Security isn't just supplemental income. It's the foundation. That's why even a single letter can feel heavy, because behind that envelope is the question everyone is asking. Is my money safe? Is it changing? Is something about to happen? When Social Security communicates, it's often about protecting the system, but also protecting you, making sure benefits go to the right people, making sure payments are accurate, making sure fraud doesn't drain funds that honest workers depend on. But here's the catch. The system moves fast, and life moves faster. People miss deadlines. They misplace letters. They assume something doesn't apply to them, and that's where problems begin. In today's economy, a delayed payment isn't just inconvenient. It can mean late rent, skipped medication, stress you didn't need. That's why awareness is power. Understanding what Social Security is asking and why puts control back in your hands. The most common mistakes people make right now. This section might be the most important one in the entire video, because the biggest danger isn't what Social Security sent, it's how people respond to it. The first mistake? Ignoring it. Assuming it's just another government letter. That single decision has caused countless payment delays. The second mistake? Misunderstanding the message. Social Security language can be confusing. People read one paragraph, panic, or worse, give up entirely. The third mistake? Missing deadlines. Some notices come with response windows. Miss them and the system doesn't wait. The fourth mistake, falling for scams. This is critical. Social Security never asks for personal information through text messages demanding immediate action. Knowing the difference between real and fake communication is essential. And the fifth mistake, not checking online accounts. Many messages never come by mail anymore. They sit quietly online, waiting. Avoiding these mistakes protects your benefits. Plain and simple. Why staying informed is your strongest defense. Information is leverage. The more you understand how Social Security works, the harder it is for surprises to hurt you. Staying informed isn't about fear, it's about confidence. It's about knowing your rights, your benefits, and your future. What millions of Americans are realizing right now across the country, people are waking up to one truth. You can't afford to tune this out anymore. Social Security isn't background noise. It's front and center in American life, and the people who pay attention always come out ahead. The silent impact most people don't realize yet. Here's something most people won't notice until it's too late, and this is where the stakes quietly rise. Social Security communications don't just affect this month, they ripple forward. A notice today can influence your eligibility reviews, your future payment amounts, and even how smoothly your benefits continue years from now. And the scary part? Many Americans don't connect the dots until something suddenly changes. Think about how the system works. Social Security tracks income, living situations, marital status, disability status, and eligibility rules constantly. When they send something out, they're often updating their internal records. If your information doesn't match what they expect, even slightly, it can trigger follow-up actions behind the scenes. Most of the time, you won't even know that's happening until a payment is delayed, adjusted, or questioned. For retirees, this could affect future cost of living calculations or deductions for Medicare. For SSDI and SSI recipients, it can impact continued eligibility. For survivors and spouses, it can change benefit coordination. And for future retirees, it can shape what your projected income looks like when you finally stop working. This is why paying attention now matters more than reacting later. Once the system moves forward, fixing issues can take weeks or months. And in today's economy, most families don't have the luxury of waiting. That's why awareness is power. The Americans who stay ahead of these updates aren't luckier, they're informed. And right now, information is your strongest form of financial protection. Why this moment feels different to Americans. Let's talk about something deeper, the emotional side of this. Because for millions of Americans, Social Security isn't just money, it's security, it's stability. It's the difference between sleeping at night and worrying about the next bill. That's why when people hear that Social Security sent something out, their stomach drops, because they've seen what uncertainty looks like. They've lived through rising prices, shrinking savings, and constant headlines about the economy. And when a government agency tied directly to your income makes a move, it feels personal, because it is personal. This moment feels different because families are already stretched thin. Retirement doesn't feel as safe as it used to. Disability benefits don't stretch as far, and younger Americans are watching closely, wondering what kind of future safety net will be there for them. That's why this conversation matters. It's not about panic. It's about preparation. It's about understanding how the system communicates, how it changes, and how you can stay one step ahead instead of one step behind. When you understand what's happening, fear loses its grip, confusion fades, and control comes back into your hands. Here's the truth, and this is important. Social Security isn't disappearing overnight. Your benefits aren't suddenly gone, but the system is evolving, tightening, and paying closer attention, and the Americans who adapt with it are the ones who stay protected. If Social Security sent something to millions of people, it wasn't meaningless. It wasn't random, and it wasn't something to brush off. It was a signal, a reminder, a nudge to stay alert in a time when financial awareness matters more than ever. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to understand every policy detail. You just need to stay engaged. Open the mail, check your account, ask questions, and don't ignore the signs. There is hope in this, because knowledge changes outcomes. Families who stay informed make better decisions. Retirees who stay alert avoid surprises. And future beneficiaries who pay attention now build stronger financial foundations later. This is why staying connected matters. This is why following updates matters. And this is why subscribing, watching, and staying informed isn't just about content. It's about your future. We'll keep breaking this down. We'll keep watching what Social Security does next. And we'll keep explaining what it means for you, your family, and your wallet. Because in times like these, information isn't noise, it's protection.